Welcome to our journey into the life of one of Hinduism's most revered deities, Lord Shiva, often called the Auspicious One. As a central figure in the Trimurti, the holy trinity of Brahma, the creator, Vishnu, the preserver, and Shiva, the destroyer, Shiva's role goes far beyond simple destruction. In Shaivism, he is seen as a supreme being, responsible for the entire cosmic cycle, creation, protection, and transformation. But today, we're diving into the stranger side of his mythology. We'll uncover some of the weird, fascinating, and downright unusual stories about Shiva found in Hindu scriptures. Stay tuned for an eye-opening exploration. Shiva, according to Hindu scriptures, was naked, adorned with serpents and ashes, and lived in cremation grounds. He carried skulls, displayed ferocious behavior, and roamed like a mad hermit. He exhibited vulgar traits, laughed, cried, sang, and danced unpredictably. Shiva wielded a staff, had a tonsured head, and drank poison, nectar, wine, milk, and soma juice. For that reason, Shiva's father-in-law did not want his daughter to get married to him, and he described Shiva in the following words. Lord Shiva is by nature naked, ferocious, dweller of the cremation ground, the carrier of skulls, a hermit, statue-like in action, a beggar, mad, fond of collecting ugly and terrible things, and inauspiciousness incarnate. What advantage will you get in having him as your husband? One such story, found in the Shiva Piranha, takes place when goddesses approach Shiva in search of food, a food unlike anything they could obtain in heaven. The goddesses ask Shiva for something special, something intended just for them, oily and mixed with jaggery, savory, and unlike any food anyone else had ever consumed. They desired something new, a rare delicacy. Upon hearing their request, Shiva, standing in the presence of Parvati, replied. He told them, I have already prepared all the food in various ways, and now it's all exhausted. I have nothing left to offer that hasn't already been consumed. But Shiva, known for his boundless creativity, had one more offering, something no one had ever tasted before. In a moment of mythic strangeness, Shiva proposed an unusual solution. He said, I shall give you food which has never been tasted by anyone. Below my navel are these two circular, long, fruit-like testicles. Even with this food, you will have great satisfaction. Another such intriguing story comes from the Srimad Bhagavatam, a tale that pushes the boundaries of divine behavior. It begins when Lord Shiva lays eyes upon a woman whose beauty is unparalleled. Every part of her form was perfect, and as their eyes met, Shiva assumed she was attracted to him. Overcome by intense desire, Shiva's normally composed nature was lost, and he became infatuated with her. Shiva's passion was so overwhelming that, even in the presence of his wife Parvati, he could not control himself and began to pursue the woman. The woman, already naked, blushed with modesty when she saw Shiva approaching. She smiled but quickly sought to hide among the trees, teasing him as she moved, while Shiva, in his madness, followed her relentlessly. Just as a maddened bull elephant chases a female in heat, so too did Lord Shiva pursue the mysterious woman. In this frenzy, Shiva's passion reached its peak, and he discharged his semen. Wherever his semen touched the earth, it blessed the ground, and in those places, rich mines of gold and silver later appeared. One such tale comes from the Devi Bhagavatam, where even the gods and sages are taken aback by Shiva's behavior. The story unfolds when a group of wise sages, Sanaka and other rishis, set out to visit Shiva in a sacred forest, hoping to pay their respects to the great Lord. With their divine aura illuminating the 10 quarters, they approached, unaware of the sight they were about to witness. To their surprise, instead of finding Shiva in deep meditation or performing rituals, they stumbled upon a scene of pure intimacy. Lord Shiva, the ascetic in name, was in a passionate moment with his wife, Devi Parvati. She was sitting on his lap naked, and they were deeply absorbed in their amorous dealings. When the sages saw this, Devi Parvati, the beautiful goddess Ambika, became filled with embarrassment and shame. She immediately covered herself, overwhelmed by the presence of the great rishis, who had unexpectedly arrived during this intimate moment. One of the most mysterious and bizarre tales of Lord Shiva comes from ancient scriptures, where he tests the devotion of sages and creates divine chaos in the process. This story, set in the sacred forest of Dharavana, unfolds when the great sages, devoted worshippers of Shiva, were performing their daily rituals. While the sages were engrossed in their meditation, Shiva himself, with his unique sense of playfulness, decided to test them. He appeared in the forest in a hideous, stark naked form, smeared in ashes, holding his own penis and performing various provocative tricks to see how the sages and their wives would react to his strange behavior. As soon as the sages' wives saw this unusual sight, they were terrified and strangely drawn to him. Some women, curious and excited, even went as far as embracing and interacting with him. But when the sages returned and saw what was happening, they were infuriated. Enraged by what they perceived as perverse behavior, they cursed Shiva, demanding that his penis fall off due to his indecent actions. The moment the curse was uttered, Shiva's penis fell to the ground and began to wreak havoc wherever it went. It moved across the heavens, the earth, and even the underworld, burning everything in its path. No one, neither gods nor sages, could find peace as the phallus continued its wild journey across the universe. In desperation, the gods and sages realized their mistake and sought a way to pacify this divine disruption. Brahma, the creator, advised them to propitiate goddess Parvati, as only she could bring stability by assuming the form of the vaginal passage. With her help, Shiva's wild energy could finally be tamed. Following Brahma's guidance, the sages performed elaborate rituals, invoking Parvati and praying for her to stabilize Shiva's phallus. With great devotion and careful rituals, the penis was finally made stable and peace was restored across the cosmos. Another such fascinating story comes from the Shiva Piranha. In this tale, after the marriage of Shiva and Parvati, their union was so intense and prolonged that it caught the attention of the gods. Narada, the celestial sage with divine vision, informed the gods of the extent of Shiva's enjoyment with Parvati. What was intended as a short moment of passion extended over a long time. So long, in fact, that 1,000 years passed in the realm of the gods while Shiva and Parvati remained engaged in their sexual dalliance. One of the most peculiar tales revolves around the fire god Agni and his unique encounter with Lord Shiva. This story, told in the Vamana Purana, reveals the extraordinary circumstances of the birth of Kartikeya, the god of war. At the behest of the Devas, Agni assumed the form of a parrot and flew to where Lord Shiva was playfully engaging with his consort, Uma. The scene was serene, filled with divine energy, but the moment was soon to take a wild turn. As Agni flitted about in his avian form, the Lord of Devas, recognizing him, summoned him forward. "O Agni," Shiva said, "you have been recognized through various ways. Do not speak anything. Open your mouth and take this in. Carry it with you." With that, Lord Shiva discharged a great deal of his divine semen into the mouth of the unsuspecting fire god. Overwhelmed and unable to fly due to the sheer weight of this divine essence, Agni found himself utterly fatigued. He had to sit down on the banks of the sacred Ganga. But the story doesn't end there. Agni, feeling the burden within him, then discharged a greater portion of Shiva's essence into the Kritikas, the Pleiades, where the fierce warrior Kartikeya was born. Yet, the remaining portion of Shiva's divine seed was split into two by Agni and deposited into his beloved wife, Svaha, who was eager to bear a child. In one amusing episode from the Shiva Piranha, we see Shiva engaging in a surprising game with his consort Parvati. According to the Shiva Piranha, Shiva, also known as Sankara, and his wife Parvati decided to play a game of dice, enjoying each other's company. However, things didn't go quite as Shiva may have expected. In this divine game of chance, Shiva was defeated by the goddess Parvati. But what makes this story even more peculiar is the forfeit Shiva had to face. After losing the game, Shiva was made to strip naked and let off in that state. One such unusual story comes from the Shiva Piranha, where the gods find themselves in a situation that is both extraordinary and bizarre. The tale begins when Lord Shiva, in his immense power, releases his divine semen. But this isn't just any release. It's so potent and powerful that even the gods, including Lord Vishnu, find themselves affected. Shockingly, they become pregnant and overwhelmed by the scorching energy of Shiva's virile force. In great distress, the gods plead to Shiva, "We have become pregnant and are scorched by your semen. O Shiva, take pity on us and remove our miserable plight." Shiva listens to their plea and offers a solution. He commands the gods, "At my behest, you shall vomit the semen virile of mine. You will be happy thereby." The gods, with their heads bent in reverence, accept Shiva's command without question. They duly remember Shiva, the eternal and imperishable one, and begin to vomit out the divine semen, finally freeing themselves from the discomfort and intensity of Shiva's energy. There are countless fascinating stories about Shiva and other Hindu gods that I'll cover in future videos. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more exciting mythology content. Thanks for watching.